Hello, and I'm going to switch it up a bit. Hello, Joe AP.
Hey, June. Good afternoon.
What's up? Good afternoon. Yes, folks, it is afternoon. And I'll get into that in a bit. But hello, Scott.
Hey, welcome back, Jim.
Now, I had to introduce Scott second because we got to talk about the do. Okay. And listen, audience, this will probably be for most of you an audio podcast. So you don't have the luxury of seeing what Joe AP and I are seeing with our eyes. You haven't seen Scott with that illustrious and very long flowing mullet. Please say hello to Scott's mullet, everyone, because it does have a presence of its own. I gotta say,
I just blew out my hair today. That's all.
You styled it lovely. It's like it's very befitting. It's like we're kind of getting a peek into like maybe Scott like around 1989 or so. I would say.
Yeah, I think 89.
You know, it would be good if you shape a beard and mustache too, Scott.
I should have
fit the profile.
I should have. Yeah. Well, hold on a minute. I'll go shape and I'll be back. But this is in honor of Martin Riggs today. I decided to do his hairstyle, his glorious hair.
So it's not Mel Gibson haircut?
Yeah, Martin Riggs. That's his character's name.
That is Lethal Weapon. Yes, and that is our segue into the subject for this episode, which is Lethal Weapon, the very first film in the franchise, starring Mel Gibson as what is it? What Riggs?
Martin Riggs.
Martin Riggs. And Danny
Riggs
Glover.
and Murtaugh.
Yes, Murtaugh. Now, I don't remember Danny Glover's character's first name. So we'll just go with Murtaugh because it sounds pretty cool, Murtaugh on its own. But yes, this was a movie that came out God knows when. We should know. I believe it's...
I believe in the first half of the episode we said June, it was 87.
Yeah, I don't remember anything. I saw this movie.
June, are you sure we did you remember we did the first half of the episode, June?
So I thought this was the first half.
It kind of seemed like you were talking like this is the first time we talked about Lethal Weapon.
Listeners, you know how we do here. I have
marijuana is a hell of a drug.
Yes, thank you. We do a lot here. Please excuse us. Memory cells do fail. I am getting older too, so that doesn't help. But yes, we did do the first half of our Lethal Weapon review. And now that we've watched this movie, and I haven't watched it in ages, and it was an interesting revisit for me, to say the least. But let's get into it. Before we start giving our opinions and any how good was it, we should get into this plot and any asides. I know Scott is the master, as I've said before.
I don't know. I don't think I am, June. I think I really messed up on the first half of this episode. I swear I remember the toilet scene in Lethal Weapon being in Lethal Weapon 1, but apparently it's Lethal Weapon 2.
Yes.
It's not in Lethal Weapon 1 where he gets pulled off the toilet. I kept on waiting. I kept telling Mary, I'm like, oh yeah, any minute now they're going to do that toilet scene, and never came.
Yeah, mentally, as I was watching this movie, I was waiting for that scene myself because I'll be honest, I was damn certain that it was in this first film.
Yeah.
And lo and behold.
I think Lethal 1 and Lethal Weapon 2 are extremely similar movies. I think they're, except for Joe Pesci's in 2. I think they're shot similar. They weren't too far apart. I want to say it came out in maybe 89, came out maybe 2 years after this one. And it's I was shocked that that scene wasn't in it. Yeah, even though it was a Christmas movie. Yeah, this is yet another Christmas movie. Like Die Hard, Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie.
Right.
Which one came out first? Did Die Hard come out first?
No, Lethal Weapon came out first. Yeah, Die Hard came out, I think, 89. I think it came out 2 years later. But it's a lot of the same people. And actually, in researching this movie, Bruce Willis was offered the role of Murtaugh before Mel Gibson. Well, a lot of actors were offered the role before Mel Gibson was. He was kind of in a cool streak. If you look at his IMDb, he was really hadn't done much other than the Mad Max films. He'd been acting in Australia for years. He did the Mad Max films. Beyond the Thunderdome, Mad Max 3 is before this movie too. For some reason in my mind, I thought it was after.
So did I.
He did The Bounty, and that's about it. He had one other movie in there that wasn't, that was a little bit famous, but he really didn't have any hits other than maybe, the Mad Max films. And I'm sure the first one really wasn't a hit. I think it's more of a cult classic than anything. So it wasn't. He a lot of Stallone, a lot of other people were offered this role before. It came to Mel Gibson.
That's gotta be sucks to be like not even second choice, third choice, but
Yeah.
nobody wanted this role, so they gave it to him.
Yeah, and Mel Gibson after this was a star and was offered Die Hard before Bruce Willis was offered Die Hard, which he turned down as well.
Wow, that
Uh,
would be interesting to do some dimension hopping and see.
Imagine this hair in Die Hard. I mean, instead of Bruce Willis's balding hair, you had a beautiful mullet.
It would
this.
It would not be the
film.
same character though. It would not be
better.
Bruce Willis. It would be
everything is better with a mullet, Joe. Everything is better is improved by a mullet. You know, in this movie, Mel Gibson's mullet is glorious. It's normally blown dried and hairsprayed back. It's super high. And it's glorious. Yeah, it's an incredible thing. It's a work of art.
You know, you can say that mullet was put through its paces in this movie, and
a lot of wet. This is a very wet movie. There's a lot of unknown reasons. You know, fire hydrants being knocked over, and them in a rainstorm. Him getting tortured over some kind of indoor waterfall. I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
There's a lot of nudity of Mel Gibson in this movie.
There's a lot of This is a horny movie. Yeah.
It's a lot of Mel Gibson cheesecake in this one. Mm-hmm. They made sure to utilize his bod for this one.
I didn't know he was
get right into it because I believe it starts out with nudity in this movie. The first scene goes right into nudity.
Yeah, he's in his trailer, right?
No, the girl. First scene is the girl that commits suicide.
Well, I was talking about the introduction of Mel Gibson. I thought it was.
Yeah, well, I know you're focused on Mel's nudity, Joe, but I'm talking about the other nudity.
I don't think the first scene with Mel Gibson, he's nude. He may have his shirt off or something. I don't think he's nude, but there is
he's
scene.
Nude.
No. Well, there is a scene early in the movie where he's totally buff.
Right.
And you get a nice shot of his buttocks, so to speak. And you know, for those of you
I think
who
that's the scene he's introduced. I think
no. That was the scene he was introduced is buying Christmas tree.
Oh, is that the first scene? I thought it was him in bed in the trailer, and he gets up and you see the buns.
No, I think that was like a day after.
Oh, okay. All right.
Folks,
that's after
we have already forgotten about this movie.
There is no better cue for us to go into the plot than us already
let's go right into it.